Welcome to Divorce 911. I am your host today, Steve Parker, and I am joined with Wendy Hayes of Mitchell Hayes, a certified divorce financial analyst, and Joanne Donner of Donner Mediation and Coaching. And I personally had an experience where I was with some clients in the home, and it was a Cuba Gooding, Tom Cruise scene. You guys have all seen it, where it was just very animated and very belligerent and in my face, where show me the money, right? Show me the money, and over and over and over again. Joanne, we were talking off camera about that and how people do it. It's finances, right? And the family. So when I was talking about the money, how are we going to be able to bring some clarity and some direction to these folks?
Well, we like to say that divorce, generally speaking, is about two things: children and money.
Yeah.
What we're talking about right now is money.
Yeah.
And show me the money raises a lot of issues, some of which are not that pleasant, to be perfectly honest with you. In many marriages, one person has taken care of all the finances, and many times they're hiding that information. We frequently, in mediation and in coaching, run into a spouse who is completely in the dark about the finances in their marriage, and that is a frightening place to be when you are going through a divorce, especially if you do not have a high income producing career of your own. Many people have chosen, and they will say it was a mutual decision, for one spouse to stay home and raise a family, and suddenly they find themselves in a situation where they have a financial future that they need to create for themselves. So show me the money is not only show me the money, it's show me the documents, show me the paperwork, and let me know what those passwords are. Many times people have hidden all that financial information, not only from a paperwork standpoint, but also from an electronic standpoint. And one spouse may not know the passwords. They may not know where accounts are hidden. Wendy will probably tell us a little bit about forensic work in divorce, but sometimes it is necessary to get serious about finding some money that you think may be there, but you just don't know where it is, and the other side is not forthcoming with that information. Not a good place to be. But legal and forensic experts can help you if you find yourself in that position.
Absolutely. So a few places that we start that search would be with a credit report to understand what some of the assets are. Not all of them are going to be reported on a credit report, but some of them will be, as well as whatever debts are out there. We can also gain a lot of information from tax returns, and if you, for whatever reason, do not have access to your tax return, we can get that through the IRS. You have the right to access that information, as well as all of the substantiating documents that are reported both for you and your spouse to the IRS, and that may include W-2s or 1099s or things of that nature. Another thing that I like to look at is often if there is a family business, there are finances or assets or investments that are attached to the business rather than to the personal side of things. So we may not be able to access that information until you engage an attorney and have them request that information for you. But then we can dig into all of that detail as well and find anything that might be hiding there.
Listening to you, Wendy, makes me think of a coaching client I was working with regarding tax returns. Accessing a tax return, having it in your hands and looking at it is one thing. Understanding what it says is a completely different thing. And unless you are a financial expert, it can be a mountain of information that is very difficult to decipher. In this particular coaching situation, I'm thinking of the advice that I gave this client was hire a CPA for just an hour, or go to your financial expert that you've been working with. It can just be a 1-hour consultation, but ask that expert how you should be reading this document, what do these numbers mean? It is very difficult to decipher that unless you're an expert. However, it is critical that you do understand that information, because within those tax returns is a wealth of knowledge. So hire the experts when you need them to understand that information.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
It is a mountain of information, and you better get yourself into a mountain of information so that you can decipher what is there, right? And I think that so many times I've seen it where both sides feel that they're entitled to more, and of course the other side feels like they're entitled to more than the other side. So finding out, where the baseline is in that. We had another video I'm thinking here in my head where the credit report and the tax return, right, are two points to look at. One of our real estate title attorneys mentioned liens against
yes.
property.
Very important and
That
very
doesn't
overlooked.
Yes. And
Very
those don't show up
overlooked.
on a credit report.
Right.
And they don't show up on your tax return. Right? So if somebody has liened the property, which is more than likely your most valuable or liable asset that you have, okay, pull title on the real estate too. All right? You may find some money there. So CPAs, forensic CPAs, divorce coaches, financial analysts, real estate attorneys, agents. There's a village in which you need to put together here, and I think that's what we do best here at Divorce 911 is we come along and treat the entire problem with a holistic approach of professionals that are ready to serve you. Wendy Hayes of Mitchell Hayes, please look her up. Joanne Donner, Donner Mediation and Coaching, likewise, reach out to her. Your questions and comments down below are always greatly appreciated. We thank you so much for tuning in. Take care.